Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. So excited to have our friend Jax Schott joining us. She is the owner of Island OM Yoga and Bar Studio. Guess what? She's on Roosevelt Island. This is one stop away from New York City or Long Island City, where I used to live. So I'm excited to have you here to talk more about this yoga and fitness boutique, which, I mean, is the rave of, all the area. This is exciting stuff, and especially your location. It's just very unique. So welcome to the show today. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. So nice to finally meet you.
Same here, Jax. Pleasure. And I know, a lot about you from my own research, but we're looking forward to getting to know you. And to start off, how do we contact you? Could you share the website or any form of contact?
Sure. Our website is islandomnyc.com, and you can always reach out to me at info@islandomnyc.com.
And Island Om, you say, is Om, close to home. I love that. So tell us a little bit about what it is you do to start.
So we are a fitness boutique on Roosevelt Island. We've been open for a little over 3 years now. We're just one stop away from Manhattan and Long Island City, Queens, in Astoria. And we just like to think of our studio as a sanctuary for people to come and find their balance. And it's really at the heart of everything we do. So we have 2 cozy spaces on right now. You can't really see it that well, but I'm in the yoga sanctuary right now. I call it that. And we have all types of different classes of yoga and meditation in this room. And then we have another small studio next door, which is mirrored with ballet bars, and that's where we do a lot of our bar, sculpt, dance, cardio, total body conditioning classes. So it's the yin yang of life, basically, and finding your balance through it both, strength and calm.
Wow. Okay. We have a lot to catch up on, talk about, because this is exciting. This is amazing. I know there's a lot of residents on Roosevelt Island now because of all those buildings they were putting up years ago when I lived close by in Long Island City. But people are really coming to you from the other boroughs, from like Manhattan as well, because it's really that close. Really.
It is. It is. And actually one of our first clients came from the Upper East Side, and she is now our sound bath meditation guru who comes once a month to do sound bath workshops at our studio through her company's Recalibrated. And so it's just really lovely to have people come from the city and make that connection, or that bridge, as I like to call it. And so, we're hoping to reach out to more people through Queens and New York City to see for them to find their own here too.
Beautiful. Well, before we get to talk more about all the different classes you offer, even the bar, the sculpting, the dance cardio, I know there's a lot more. I would love to get more information about you and to share a little bit about your background. Of course, you've been on this journey to wellness in a sense, and tell us, as a kid, you were a dancer, right? And movement was your first love. And let's talk about what happened through those years. And then, of course, when you opened the studio a few years ago during COVID. I'd love to get a little of this backstory, please. Thank you.
Sure. I wasn't a professional dancer. I did it, as after school and clubs.
So did I.
In junior high and high school. But movement was always my passion. And my body always felt good to move and express myself through movement. I'm anti-runner. No offense to the runners out there, but my body was not made for it. So
neither is mine. I have a friend that runs 3 miles every day, and I'm just like, how? My body's aching for you. It hurts my knees. It hurts my hips. It just
my body literally protests, and it has been protesting pretty much since high school, from what I recall.
We had to do the mile, and they made us suffer through that. Like, it was a state requirement, right? Where are you from originally?
Long Island.
Where?
So I'm from Merrick, Long Island.
Awesome. I'm further out in Holtzville. You probably don't know where that is, but it's about 35 minutes east. But yes, and that was like torture. Sorry to digress. It happens all the time.
No, I mean, totally. So, I also had a passion for fashion when I was a child, and it was a natural step from I went to college. I studied fashion, buying and merchandising, and I was working in the fashion industry straight out of college for over 10 years. But, my body was being ignored. My lifestyle was not healthy. And I was lucky to only get steps in because I'd walk home from from work 20 blocks, and that was my exercise. And my stress levels were just really, really bad. And I just didn't feel like this was the lifestyle for me, especially I was with someone very seriously, and we knew we were going to get married and want kids. And so I decided to just decompress and try a yoga training. And I went to Shivananda 19 years ago now, I believe. Just about March will be nine, March will be 20 years. So, I fell in love with how I felt, and, self-work is, mindfulness and self-work is so essential.
Yeah.
Turned 30 at the time. And so, which I just gave my age away, but that's okay. But it was kind of like eye-opening, and it healed me from the inside out. And then I just wanted to bring that to other people. So I tried to start with corporations first. And then I just started networking and teaching, throughout the city in Brooklyn. And when I came to Roosevelt Island, I had my baby, and I met a bunch of moms, and they were all like, "Can we do yoga?" And so that's kind of how I started my business on Roosevelt Island.
Wow. But then COVID came, and that kind of delayed a little of everything, right?
Yeah. So COVID came. I signed a contract for the studio space, which was completely abandoned. It was empty. There was no walls. There was no electricity.
Yeah.
There was nothing. And so when I hired the contractors, COVID happened. Literally, like days after I hired them. And so everything was pushed back and delayed. We didn't open. I feel like it was at least 2.5 years into it, because we opened up towards the end of COVID, when people were ready to come out and be together again. And so like it was 2022, I believe, or 2021, end of 2021. And so it was just, I wasn't even sure if it was going to happen, because, so many people were doing online yoga, and everyone was like thanking me for putting videos on YouTube, and and I'm like, I'm never going to get people to come in here. But people were hungry to be with people,
in touch with people, in touch, humans. Yes, the masks. I mean, the loneliness, the secludedness. It got to all of us, and that's a great thing. So you eventually were able to open up.
Yes. So we were very happy to open up, and we just had our 3-year anniversary in October of 2024. And we like to celebrate our anniversary and the holidays every year. So this year I decided to push it back to January and start with a new year, new you. And we did manifestation boards and clean slate meditations, and our community came together for it. And it was, just fun and joyfulness and celebration, and nothing, it really showed me the family that I've created here, and that really, it always touches my heart whenever I see everyone, like, of all different backgrounds, ages, having wine together, eating together. People who would never have spoken to each other before find a friendship here, and that's really what's so lovely.
Beautiful. And if you don't mind, I would like to go over a little about your training, because I know you're well-versed. You've trained in all different types of yoga. I read that as well. Would you mind just giving a little of your credentials too?
Sure. So I started with Hatha yoga. It was Hatha, and I also studied Ayurveda,
Mm-hmm.
which is like the science of yoga. It's the more holistic side of nutrition and lifestyle rituals that you would do for yourself to help keep balance. And then from there, I learned kids yoga. I loved it. I had so much fun. I was so grateful. I'm going to give my friend Shari a shout out at Karma Kids because she gave me the best training I could have ever asked for. And then I also learned prenatal yoga, and that was a really special time because I got pregnant as I was teaching prenatal yoga. So it was really
Aw.
like, it was kind of my bread and butter. And actually, after my second child, I also became a birth doula because I just
Oh,
saw the connection
wow.
between, I don't even know if I told you that initially, but like,
No.
um, but I did that for 8 years before the studio opened. So, but I could tell all of the knowledge and the tools that I had as a yoga teacher, and prenatal yoga teacher and Ayurveda and the essential oils, like it all came together. And it was almost a natural stepping stone to help other women at that time give birth. And I've attended over 120 births, I believe. So I've been on a hiatus since the studio opened, but yeah. So I've done that, and I've also worked with learning about energy work in yoga. So it's energetic alignment, which has really helped a lot of students find their own comfort in a yoga pose that might not be so traditional, but it works for their body. And you don't have to manipulate them you don't have to get your hands into them.
Yeah.
It's more about like literally telling them where's the energy going.
Wow.
And it's really a beautiful thing to watch when they really empower it and and follow it. So
Beautiful. And if you don't mind me just asking about, you had chronic pain. You had a ski accident. So, could you share a little bit of that? What happened to you and how, the yoga helps you and so many other people going through a lot, right?
yeah, that was life altering for me, really. I was very young. I was in my early 20s. I was in Switzerland with my boyfriend, now husband. And I got into a really bad ski accident. I tore my ACL in my left knee, and I tore my meniscus in my right knee, and I tore my left hip, labral tear in my hip. There's a lot of things happening. And with accidents, with trauma, things get triggered in the body.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started and I never went and got surgery from it. I just did a lot of PT, which is why Barre for me is so essential because it's
Yeah.
exactly what I was for in my PT stuff. But yeah, I went through my 20s and 30s in a lot of pain, even through yoga. Um, but my body wasn't able to do what it used to do before the accident. So my
Mm-hmm.
flexibility was limited. The inflammation was really bad. And in my early 40s, I found out that I have fibromyalgia. I don't like to really label it, but the doctors have all said thank you, yoga, because they said I would probably have been a lot worse off without
Ah.
keeping my body moving and without keeping the strengthening going on. And now I'm in this phase called, I like to call it sexy pause. It's perimenopause,
Yep.
but we're still young and vital, so I don't want to cancel that. But so things get a lot worse. A lot of the similar symptoms of fibromyalgia comes
Yep.
up in perimenopause, so it feels
Ah.
magnified. And I have a lot of clients my age or in my age range.
Mm-hmm.
So we have been, I feel like they really resonate with my practice because I'm very aware of their needs and the balance between intensity and also kind of restorative.
Got it. Well, thank you for sharing that. And let me just remind everyone how we can contact you. Would you mind sharing the website?
Sure, it's islandomnyc.com, and that's OM. And the email, if you need to reach out to me, is info@islandomnyc.com. And we're on
Beautiful.
Instagram at island.om if you want to check us out.
All right. Well, did you kind of want to talk more about the classes or, Om in general, what else did you want to share? But there's a lot that you do have to offer.
Yes. So we have, like I said, we have all sorts of all styles of yoga classes in our studio. And what I love is I found teachers from, teachers through my networking or through Roosevelt Island or even through, Brooklyn and Queens. And we all have our own style that resonates with us and our own needs, and we bring that to the studio. So I forgot to mention, my guru is after I did the Hatha Vinyasa, I trained with Shiva Ray for Vinyasa yoga, and I kind of mix the beauty of Vinyasa and Hatha together in my classes, and I feel like a lot of our teachers are doing that as well. So it's not a formula that you might be familiar with. Like if you go to other yoga studios, it's all the same training, it's all the same style. You're really getting something different with each teacher, even if it's barre or sculpt. Each teacher has their own energy, their own technique, their own design of class. And what we really focus on is making sure most of our classes, unless it's specified, is open level. So there you can modify, you can stay on hands and knees and not ever do a downward dog if you didn't want to. But no one feels like they can't do the class, which has been really wonderful to see. And even when you watch them, you can see, some people are on hands and knees, some people are modifying in their own body. And that's what yoga should be about. It shouldn't be about the fancy poses. It should be about finding what works for you.
Yep. And by the way, on the website and again, social media pages, which you got to go to, there's some amazing reviews. People obviously love coming to you. There's someone named John. John L. says, as a beginner to yoga, I was slightly intimidated. And I think a lot of people can relate to this. Yet I enjoyed the process from the very first class. The teachers have the highly unique ability to reach their students both physically and spiritually. Arva B says, I learned I can actually do yoga even though I thought I couldn't. And I think that's another misnomer. Some people get confused or nervous and it's like, oh my gosh, what am I, doing? But anyway, there's some great reviews here on the website. I hope, people can go on the website and take a look. Go ahead.
It's something I'm really proud of. We have a small community, but we have over 100 reviews, and I believe they are all 5-star reviews. And they're all, there's a lot of people who really gave specifics, which, that they really shared, and they shared their vulnerability. And so that also is, so as a teacher and as someone who created this space, it's been so rewarding to see that they are resonating with it, and they are totally finding their own, in our studio.
Got it. Well, thank you for that. And we still have 6 more minutes left in the show. There's a lot more to talk about. Can I also ask, you have some staff, some other teachers on board as well. It's not just yourself, right?
Right. So we have a group of 9 teachers, I believe it is right now. Majority of them are very experienced, have more than 10 years of teaching experience, but also there are we've been fortunate enough, some of our students have gotten trained and have said, hey, I want to teach here. And so we have, I don't like to consider, I'm not calling myself a mentor to them, but I'm grateful that I can give them an opportunity to have a platform here and create their own class and find their own voice. And so, I feel like we have about three fairly new teachers, and some of those teachers have experience in other styles of fitness, but like dance or something. But we have I always talk about Michelle, because Michelle was our student. She was one of our first students that came into our studio on the first opening weekend. She is a veteran, and she has been trained through the Wounded Warrior Project, and so She has made her class style, we call it level one, but it's really for anyone who is working with an injury or a physical limitation or just getting back to the mat or fairly new and they're not sure what they're doing. She is not easygoing in any way, but she makes it accessible, whether it's sitting on a chair or using the ballet bar or using some tools. And that's where we differ from so many other places. I feel like we really have some teachers with life experience of their own that they bring and reach out to other people.
Yay, I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm perusing, if you don't mind. I'm on like Instagram, stalking you and
That's
seeing what's going on.
okay.
But that's what we're supposed to be doing, right? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, one of my first friends on Roosevelt Island, our daughters are 1 month apart from each other.
And
Amanda,
how old, by the way, is she? Your daughter? I didn't ask.
oh, so I have two daughters. I have one is going to be 16 on Monday
Oh my
next
God.
week
No
in a week.
way.
It's it's insane because I've lived on this island for 16 years now. I moved here when I was 6 months pregnant with her. And the other one just turned 13 a couple of months ago. So I am in it. I am in the teendom. Um, I am learning my own through the teendom years. It's a challenging time, but my friend and I literally raised our daughters together,
Ah,
pretty much for the first few years. And she, my first student, she was the one who asked me to teach yoga to the moms on the island. And then when I opened Island Om, she went through a training at another studio, a really reputable studio, and she has been killing it here in a beautiful way. She's really found her own and her voice and her style, and she has a wonderful following now. She's been teaching with us for, I feel like it's been two-ish years, 2.5 years. And so that's another thing. It's like I'm not mentoring her, but seeing my students grow into teachers have been like such a beautiful
yeah.
thing. And I like to think I had something to do with it, some kind of inspiration to do with it. But they have, they took it on their own and they came back to me, and I'm just grateful to have this family. So.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for sharing this. And I see you do some like baby and me classes as well. Like, yeah, I love this. I'm seeing some kids there. And then you're honoring the vets. You do movie nights too? What's this? A Club Ohm? What's Club Ohm all about?
Yeah, Club Om is it's dance cardio, and Joan is a dancer. She is a dance teacher, and she recently got certified in yoga as well. So she's one of our newer yoga teachers. But she teaches Club Om, and she picks a theme, a song every week. What this tonight is Lady Gaga, Bad Romance, if anyone wants to sign up for it. And she really breaks it down in a really understandable way for all levels. And I always say her class is great for beginners because she really caters to breaking it down and making it simple, but also giving you a chance for more of a challenge for those who need more of a challenge. So that class has been pretty popular now. She's been growing it. And so it's a party on Monday nights at 8 p.m.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. All right. And again, if we want to reach out to you, would you mind sharing all the forms of contact so people can find you, come visit you, and also, come join you for some classes?
Sure. It's islandomnyc.com. That's islandomnyc.com. And it's info@islandomnyc.com if you want to email me.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. Pleasure getting to know you, having you here, and you're making me miss this city. I used to live on 42nd and 2nd, so close by. And then I used to live in Long Island City right on Center Boulevard. So that whole area just brings back such nostalgia for me. And then when I had kids, I moved to Whitestone in Queens, and then I had to move back out east on Long Island where my family's from. So it's, yeah, I miss those days. But you get to wake up, you get to see the beautiful views. You get the water on both sides, right?
Yes, it's really an oasis, Roosevelt Island.
It
And so
is.
even if, you're not living here, to come here to take a class has been, just the experience walking from either you could take a ferry, the tram, which is on 59th and 2nd,
Yeah.
or the F train is one stop from the city to Roosevelt Island. And it's maybe a block or two of a walk. It's like a less than 5-minute walk from any of those places. And so it's like you're taking class in New York City, but you have this suburban, oasis feel surrounded by water, and seeing both Long Island City and New York City. You get the best views of both of them.
Beautiful. Well, thank you again. Pleasure having you here, and we'll hopefully speak again soon. Thanks so much.
Thank you. It was so nice meeting you.
You too, sweetheart. Enjoy your day. And once again, all of our listeners, I hope they do reach out and join them. IslandOMNYC.com. Have a fantastic day, Jax. Love it. Jax Schott is her name. Go check her out. It's spelled Schott. Bye-bye, darling.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes?
How could he do this to you? And for Sheila, she has split ends.
B, console her?
Oh, sweetie, this is going to happen a lot. 4, maybe 5 more times before you get married.
C, take charge?
Got to get this all straightened out. Give a little talking to, man to man, mano a mano. Hey, Steve! It's now a good time? No? Okay, no problem. Bye.
Or D, help her find a new boyfriend?
I know a great place to meet boys. The internet. Nice, single boys. Never mind. How about some ice cream?
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.